and uncut. Yeah, we are back. So yeah, it's episode 3. We've been away for a little bit. COVID's had us doing some live stuffs for a while.
Lockdown in Canada has been long.
Yeah, long and cold. The sun comes out now though, so that's helping. It's definitely helping.
It's just yeah, I don't even know what to say about it at this point anymore.
Yeah.
We've been doing this it's a weird Groundhog Day we live in now.
Yeah. Every day, you get near the end. Maybe you go to sleep, wake up, and it's a new day. No, it's yesterday again. All right.
Especially when you live alone, it's like...
Yeah, I hear that, man. I hear that.
Like
Living in a box with regulations that stipulate how many folks are allowed to look in the eye.
Yeah, like I don't... like yesterday I just like made a pizza in the middle of the day and then just took a nap on my floor.
Yeah, man. Woke up around 10:30 p.m. That was my day.
Just like, what the fuck?
That's my day. Yeah. Yeah, and the sun's definitely necessary. I hope you don't have as many harsh critiques for our Disney bracket that we're going to talk about today as this one over here. But yeah, man, it's been a little rough. It's been a little rough looking for good quality media in this minute. There's a lot of stuff coming through the pipe right now, thankfully. Some things we're going to talk about in a little bit, but yeah, I don't know. Do we want to start with the Marvel?
Yeah, because I think we'll talk more about non-Disney content in the next one.
Definitely.
But for this one, we're gonna, I guess, focus on
Big D.
fucking Disney, y'all.
Yeah, I mean, all right. Are you gonna start? I know you got a lot to say about, or a lot or little to say. It's harsh.
It's been so long. It's like, okay, so other topics are gonna bleed into this no matter what because of how lackluster and like it was like how bad the Disney content was honestly what made other content so fucking good.
Yeah, so refreshing.
It was like Falcon and the Winter Soldier after the mess of WandaVision, that whole thing. And like all the news too recently about like Kevin Feige coming out and talking about how they cut Doctor Strange out of WandaVision because they couldn't have a white man come in and explain everything.
Did they actually say that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
yeah, I mean, I guess
so now we're getting to a point where we're just making shitty content it's just I don't know. But let's get on to Falcon the Winter Soldier, which is trash. It was like so bad I can't even substantiate a rating or anything like that because it was just, what was it? It felt like a fever dream. Like when I look back on it, it feels like a fucking fever dream. It feels like I was just like running through an acid trip with no idea what was happening at any fucking moment. And then the way it ended, I don't know what's real anymore with Marvel and Disney, and I don't know. They tried to do some like Watchmen-esque, The Boys style kind of heroes against government and government against this whole but it was all so convoluted and lost that it just none of it made any sense.
Yeah, like they could have done a lot with the material, right? Like, you have a lot of these sort of parallels or connections to the way the history of America has treated its own soldiers, its own operatives, the Tuskegee experiments, etc. There's a lot of material there.
But that wasn't even, it was like...
But I didn't really feel like they did a lot of it justice. I know we have some difference of opinion personally. I think some of the acknowledgments or sort of, lenses toward specific aspects of America and really the developed world in general and how they treat their military, how they talk out of one side of their mouth about post-racial existence and then out of the other side is just lots of expletives and but they're you gotta have like a story to substantiate that. Like the rest of it was so convoluted. Like there's a legitimate gripe about like, you know, what like constitutes citizenship and like what we really do when we help people in other nations, or, you know, by building churches instead of like proper schools or access to jobs or even just clean water and food. There's a lot there, but yeah, I really didn't feel like it like the things that it was aiming towards critiquing heavily. I feel like there were some small victories there, but like
There's almost, like, too much.
there's no story entwined in it.
Well,
It's
that's
just
the thing,
like, yeah,
right?
I just aside from that one fight scene and like I said, a couple of those moments, like Bucky's acknowledgement of like, yeah, okay, it's kind of shitty of me to be like, yeah, you should just be Black Captain America. Why not? Here's the shield, do it. Like that's, you know.
But then he did it anyway.
Yeah, but then like no, but there was I felt like there was some reason for that, but I'm just saying, yeah, the story wasn't substantial.
Like,
if you're gonna tell that story, you need it to be like, it should be gravitas. It should be really well thought out, because that's what's deserved, right? And a lot of times, like even from the like more left side, or even the cultures individually themselves, like that's the critique, is like, dude, if you're gonna tell this story about not me, but like, you know, me and my people, do it justice. Don't just like, you know, put a woman there or a black guy there and then do a half-ass story that doesn't develop, because that doesn't serve anybody. Legitimate critiques on both sides, right? Is like, this is not a good story. This doesn't represent me.
Yeah, because I've also heard the arguments where it's like why couldn't he have just been like Falcon was a great character. Like he could have been a great hero. Why does he have to live up? Like why does he have to become Captain America to be validated in some weird, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that I totally agree with. But it's just, it felt like everyone's pressure around him was really like driving towards that question. But that's what I'm saying. That story, like, it needed more to really,
like, a comic book story. Yes, they've always had some politics in there, but it's always surfed on a wave of a plot or a story or character development. Like the most character development was U.S. Agent John Walker. He was the one who actually had the arc of like going through all these things while we were watching. Like, man, it made me so mad when Sam was like, when they had that scene with Bucky, and like Bucky like broke down to him and like opened up and like had that moment where he actually like was getting to the core of like his issues, and Sam was just like, all right, bud,
yeah, you should get on that now.
And he's the one who says it like 2 or 3 times where he's like, I used to counsel traumatized soldiers in the army.
You'd think you'd be better at it, right?
Well, what were you... Did you help anyone?
Yeah, dude.
Were you good at it? Because it doesn't...
It's like, yeah, don't forget the 12-step program and a little swat on the butt, and you're on your way.
Because how he treated Bucky when Bucky was like trying to just talk to him in those moments, it was just like... it seemed like that's where the inconsistent writing of that we saw in WandaVision is carried over, where it's carried over now into this, where it's like Sam the whole time was just like trying to tell everyone that Carly was right the whole time.
It seemed like a lot of it, to an extent. I wouldn't say 100%, but definitely identified with a lot of her shit, which like some of it I understand. Again, I just don't think the characters were developed well, and I don't feel like the story was put together very well. Yeah,
like her character didn't have like, we were supposed to, like, we witnessed someone die we've never seen, like, and that was supposed to be something.
Yeah, I just felt like Flag Smasher should have been a lot more solid in their ideology. I mean, like, literally, that's their entire purpose as a character. The Flag Smasher, like, anti-state, very clear, like, drawn lines of idealism.
What made them
understand to be challenged, you know, in a moment, which can be compelling to see the character grow that way. But it was just like, it was so scrambled and back and forth. Like, what am I doing? Is this important? Yes, even if we die. Oh no, not if he dies. Like, it's just...
It made it seem like a bunch of angsty kids just...
Yeah.
Who got a hold of a drug and were like...
Again, it just didn't... They
got no muscles either.
Yeah, if you're gonna gender fuck a character, do it with like purpose. Like, you know, make it about something. It doesn't have to be about their gender, but at least have the dignity, if you're gonna bother to make that character, to make them a substantial, at least as substantial, if not more so, than the original portrayal. Where this is just like... It just feels like, yeah, they're just putting like lipstick on the shell of a character. And then that's supposed to, like, I would be upset. There's so much of this shit that, like, I know from like sort of the like the edgelord people are going nuts and the like third wave feminists are going nuts, but like they both have legitimate gripes about it because it is like taking a story that is substantial and compelling and weakening it, but then also, yeah, just
They're trying to
adding
send
these,
too many messages. Like, it was almost too much messaging coming from it.
and none of it really solid, and none of the character development for you to actually
Nothing to
feel the
stand
dignity
on.
of the characters, or yeah, really be like, oh shit, those are two compelling points. Fuck, I'm conflicted.
Yeah.
That's compelling storytelling. I don't care who's like in the suit, but like the point, especially if you're gonna do a political thing like that, like it really, it's got to be like, it's got to have like solid semblance to it.
Like, dude, his speech at the end. In his ski suit. And like,
I did not like the design of the like Captain America wing.
I know it was comic book
thing,
accurate
man.
or
Just
whatever.
like-
People were comparing it to A-Train and whatnot, but there was the scene where he brought her down like an angel, like she was some kind of saint. And then there's a scene of him holding up that truck. How is he holding up? I don't understand.
Wouldn't his like ligaments be just
literally-
torn asunder?
he
Like, he's not a
literally-
super soldier.
why
He
is-
didn't have an exoskeleton to hold
Yeah.
his wrists or anything.
Cause I heard no one talk about this where it's like
Just that Disney
he literally
leveling,
he
right?
just had a montage of him working out in his backyard and then suddenly he's Captain America.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
Like, I get him catching the shield, but when other people like super soldiers are whipping that thing and it's like compounding the energy with every impact, and he's just like, thoop.
Yeah, see, I don't like even that. I was just like, I don't understand how any normal man can do that.
Or even like fucking like on the scale of real superhumans, i.e., like Olympians.
Yeah.
How it's even possible with the most exceptional of us, which
Yeah.
small amount of disbelief, but again, it's just a really, it just points to really weak, lazy scripting, and even just the action sequences. Like, you really have to take apart what they're capable of and make it reasonable.
And the shield and the wings is too much.
It's a lot, man. It's
Like,
a lot.
if any, like he should have like, it should have been like a Pokemon, and instead of him becoming Captain, he should have just evolved into like American Eagle or something. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or like Golden Eagle or something. Like, just give him cooler wings. Like, the wings are basically the shield, just fucking better. I don't know. And then there's the whole Sharon Carter thing. Like, everyone knew the whole time she was the power broker, and then
Like, so you're the power broker. Nice to see GSP. I mean, you know, work on the acting chops, but it's good to see you out there, man. Personal hero of mine, anyway.
he got her pardoned too, so it's like, so you give us this hero who just completely failed. It's just like, and wasn't she the one who took out Carly in the end, right? Like,
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I mean. It just really speaks to sloppy storytelling. I think like it could have been an awesome story, super compelling. The fucked up history of America and what it's done to its soldiers, especially like black soldiers, especially like during the acid experiments with general citizens and military. Like, there's so much history in America that's rife for picking and building solid political storylines like this. And they touched on the subjects, and I have to say, like, you know, Sam and the first Black Captain America, there's some like compelling moments there, but it's just like, it's in this cobbled together mess where it's really hard to carry about the overarching storyline. So like, having a couple of genuine moments, they're like, oh shit, they really got them there. Yeah, it ultimately falls flat when you're not watching the whole thing like riveted and really caring for everybody, you know. And yeah, even Sam, like, so hard headed at the start, like, you know, just walking around telling everybody how it needs to be and
Well,
how
that's
it's
the
going to
thing,
be.
if they had
Telling
just-
his sister, it's probably been like through 10 times as much shit being alone as,
yeah.
you know, like a.
If they had just worked with John Walker too, instead of treating him like,
See, I disagree with that one, man. Like, there's some legitimate complaints, you know, like the Captain America John Walker did have to jump through hoops, do all the shit. They're just doing whatever they wanted, connecting with these people that, frankly, the American government was not going to allow them to connect with.
they were just, but that was the thing, they were just two helpless idiots running around waiting for some woman to save them.
I mean, a lot of it was sort of scripted that way, yeah.
It
But
was just like, all right, where is she? Who's gonna help them now?
But I don't know, man. I thought the way John Walker handled a lot of those early situations was really poor.
Yeah,
So I
but
could
that's
see
what
from
I'm
their
saying,
perspective why they'd be like, no thanks, man.
If they had worked together, they could have helped him. Like, if they were so honorable and respectful of the name of Captain America, why would you not help?
Because they don't give.
No, it's making it very personal. They're making it very, which is like, okay, so what's this about then?
All right, but what about like the moments where when they did legitimately try, and they're like, just wait here. I'm gonna go talk to this lady. Don't anybody come in.
Was
I
he
told her I
why
was
was
by
he going to
myself.
talk to her? She'd already killed people. Like, it didn't even make sense.
Dude, because the world is not black and white like that, man. Especially for someone who's been in the military and then done their own thing on this like sort of vigilante aspect of stuff.
You say that about every one of the guys that were in that room.
You sure could. You sure could. And that's my point. Is like, when he's saying, "Look, we all kind of have this questionable history." Look at fucking Winter Soldier, right? You're just not going to talk to him. Fuck Bucky. He killed a bunch of people. Sometimes it's a negotiator, man. We're just talking about a GTA role playing, right? Like, you can't just send a bunch of cops in with guns. You need a negotiator, and so he's trying to do the negotiation, and then like Captain DreamWorks is just like running in there.
I know you have that one moment, but it's like
I'm just saying I wouldn't want him on my team either.
He was a terrorist,
especially before he was a super soldier. He was like not really useful. I didn't think he had bad instincts. He was pushy. He made bad decisions based on emotion. And then, like, not that he got better when he was a super soldier, but, like, especially when he didn't even have those abilities. Like, what are you there for? Oh, good, we have this, like, soldier who's got a chip on his shoulder trying to be like, yeah, you guys can be my, like, sidekicks. Man, I would have kicked him square in the chest.
I just see it
if I had been.
I just think you're very wrong, and
That's fine, man. You can feel that way. You can totally feel that way. But seriously,
Sam
if he would have came at me
and Bucky
like
were
that,
just idiots, and they should have worked along with him instead of against him, and they all could have just really not been a bunch of dumbasses who got played by some chick.
Well, they didn't even work together, like, at all, any of them. But yeah, I just John. To me,
they made it
to the sternum.
They made it look like it was going to be this awesome buddy cop story, like this awesome buddy, like this dope action thing, and then it was just like two moody dudes who couldn't, like, I don't know. Yeah,
you gotta have the comic relief guy. Everybody knows that. Everyone who's seen like any buddy cop movie knows that, right? And if you can't do that, one of them's got to be a dog. Those are the rules.
Yeah, and then it took such a weird tone when they like had that, like, what was it the second last episode where they were just like on the boat and shit, and like it was like a weird celebratory episode. I don't even.
Which one?
The one where they were like they went and fixed the boat and shit.
Oh yeah.
Was it the second last episode?
I think so, yeah. I mean, that's an important part of the story. Again, if the story was good, I think it's really important that, like, he's able to come back to his roots. So he's finally able to be useful to his sister. There's a lot of interesting themes there, and if they had the right gravity, it could have been good. If it was really compelling, if you really felt like Sam's experience, like he's coming home from war, like he doesn't really know what's like going on in the world, and then he's faced with his sister who's like, yeah, well, I've just been here doing life. You know how hard that is, being a fucking ship captain as a single woman, black woman in the South, trying to do this like fishing shit with this garbage boat. Where have you been? Could have been really good, man. It could have been nice, like, oh yeah, people actually do care about this character, and but it just, yeah, I just felt like it fell apart, man. I don't feel like there's any. It's because they didn't any like good weave to that story.
They didn't give us like what we came for. So when they give us the shit we didn't come for, that's supposed to like sweeten the pot, it just doesn't work because we're like, you didn't even give us. Why would we want this? It's like, what? Because it would be nice to have all that if it was earned, right?
Yeah.
It's like, but it just.
Yeah, but you gotta care, right? Like if you just had the the fucking Ewok dance at the end of Jedi, and you didn't care about what just happened, it'd just be a bunch of goofy Muppets doing a shuffle.
Yeah.
You have to understand and care that the universe has just been freed from oppression, and if you don't succeed in that.
Yeah, that's also
then
the thing.
Nobody cares about what's happening in the what do you call it, wow, my brain's just gone today. The thing at the end of the story, after the
epilogue.
Yeah, thank you. Mm. Yeah, no one cares about the epilogue if you don't care about the story. You don't want to hear what happened to Samwise if I don't give a fuck about the Ring of Gondor, man. It just doesn't do it.
Yeah, it's when you just turn it off and you're like.
Yeah, honestly, like as much as I had to say about this thing today, like I really it was difficult to watch. I tried to rope one of my weekly watching friends in to watch it, and she's pretty tolerant. And even she was like, "No, dude, I can't."
Dude, I did a
watched it an
rewatch.
episode and a half, and I just
I did a rewatch just to see if it would make more sense, like connected all the episodes together, and it made it worse.
yeah. Yeah, it really like underlined how much of a cobbled together mess.
Yeah, you're
It
just
was.
like this. It's like when you're like doing like a group project in school, or not even a group, but just any project, and you just get to the end of it, and you're just so sick of doing it that you just like how I feel what they do with Game of Thrones, except this was their one and only season of this show.
Yeah,
Like,
they couldn't even string together like 8 episodes that didn't suck,
and just as like a
or even just like more than 2 action sequences that weren't terrible.
yeah, but just as like a note, I've like heard this thing recently where it's like there's like all this stuff going in the works right now to make sure like creators and writers and shit like that are compensated for their work and properties. But I heard what was I watching? It was like Den and Nerds or something. But he was talking about like an article where they're talking about how maybe like Disney might not like they might be like dancing around the stuff we think they're gonna use like with WandaVision, like the House of M stuff, to avoid having to compensate comic book writers and shit like that.
Oh shit!
Yeah, so instead of like directly using like
The canon,
yeah, they're
in the way that like some moments of The Walking Dead, etc., were like picture perfect.
yeah, they're just like walking around that as a way to avoid having to compensate creators and shit like that.
That's gross, dude.
Yeah, it's fucked up.
It's so gross.
Which, when you think about it like that,
Especially
you're
the
like,
amount of money that they make too. Like,
and when you look at what they've made, you're like, you can kind of see it. You're like, yeah, maybe.
so we'll sort of set it up like episodes 13 through 27, but we're just gonna create this new character, and we'll make the whole story about them, and the rest of it'll just be sort of this like thing that brings it into the context of what happened in actuality. Yeah, not a big fan of seeing that. That's for sure. Not a big fan. So what do you think? We said enough about Winter Soldier. Do you have anything you want to add? I feel pretty good. I got in a few points of things that I thought were good and that I applaud amongst the like tapestry of random fabrics and fibers that were woven.
Is it like I'm not any Marvel fanboy speller or anything where it's like if this is like a sign of what's coming from Marvel and Disney for this next phase of Marvel, it's all trash.
Yeah, I mean, I was saying I was getting real tired of the flights and tights, and it'd be interesting to see some more compelling, like, on-the-ground stories, but not if they're like this.
And
there's lots of really cool shit in Marvel that you can, like, point to.
But you have things like Invincible and now Jupiter's Legacy, and they're doing stuff that we would go to Marvel usually. Like Invincible does Peter Parker better than Marvel in recent years has ever done Peter Parker.
Yeah, and certainly, yeah, I'm having a hard time remembering any live action thing in the recent or even animated that was as like.
Well, the original '90s Spider-Man animated series, it was like
that's about
that dichotomy of.
Yeah, like I'm a kid. I'm trying to do this life. I'm trying to like have friends and relationships, but then also the whole world is on my shoulders, and I'm responsible for at least this whole city, if not apparently this whole. In the case of Invincible, like this whole quadrant of the universe.
Yeah, so it's like the bad taste that left in my mouth. It, like because Invincible is airing the same time, which we'll get into next episode, as Winter Soldier.
Very much looking forward to that.
And it having the contrast of the two, it just made Winter Soldier feel like a chore you had to kind of slog through.
Yeah. Yeah, when you have that kind of a reflection, just like. You know, like that or like The Boys, any of that stuff that's really like solid. That's actually about something that's like taking risks, that has compelling characters, but also can like get down to this granular level and point out stuff that like is often missing from the narratives. Anyways, yeah, I guess let's put a pin in that one, shall we? Because anyways, so yeah, what about we're gonna do the next Disney property? Is that what we're doing right now? We're gonna scoop through the first 2 episodes of the Bad Batch.
I guess we'll do that after the. Oh yeah, I guess we could, because I just don't like.
It's up to you, man. That's what I'm saying. Like
We can't. It's like it's whatever at this
this
point.
this can be an episode. We can do another
Yeah.
thing.
Like it's. I know it's just like the Bad Batch is whatever at this point. Like I just don't. But nah, I just don't. Like I just don't like. It's just it's with all this Marvel shit. It's with all this now. It's like start. It's like I don't care. I don't trust Disney anymore. They've ruined the canon so much and everything that it's like. And it's a constant bait and switch of like on the surface giving fans what they want, but then in the background it's like not at all. It's just it's a weird tokenization of just fan pleasing in a way. You know what I mean?
But like really misappropriated or misdirected.
Yeah. Like I see it like in a lot of different like industries and aspects of the world right now where it's like people providing a service or content aren't directly working with the people who've consumed it. So it's not coming out fully balanced in a way, you know what I mean?
For sure. And then people like Filoni that you expect, to be able to sort of corral the thing. He seems to have his own priorities. Some obviously like much respect, some the long history of like really nice stuff, but yeah, I don't know if how much of this is directed by him or how much of this is being drawn in directions by like other folks. But like, okay, so like I was saying with like, this story seems to be paralleling a lot of what was happening in Mandalorian, but the thing that's compelling about the Mandalorian is like there's a lot of mystery about this like this baby Yoda Grogu, right? He doesn't say a lot. There's like a few bright moments. We've said our piece about like various like things where it just saves the day out of nowhere, where that's sort of like a bit of a lazy
its own flaws.
But this really feels like a bait and switch, man. It's like, this is the Bad Batch. You're going to find out what the non-chipped clones think during Order 66 when everything goes upside down. And, like, how do they end up? And where do they end up? And what happens with that?
And what does it mean for the sequel trilogy? And how is this going to cement that more?
Yeah, exactly, right? And then it's just like, oh, no, but we have this other one now. And they might have all their powers or maybe even be Force sensitive. And, like... So, are they just going to become the penultimate?
I know. Is she a
bad
crossbreed with Palpatine?
Batcher? Yeah, that's the other thing. I've heard some of that stuff, like with the hairline and the force sensitivity, and also that there's that one moment where the Kaminoans are like, oh yeah, let's see how this all plays out with the Empire before we let them know that this one is missing. So I've heard some people say there might be like Palpatine trying to get a hold of a Force sensitive clone.
Oh, but
for their body or their like or their.
She might be part Palpatine.
Yeah, that too. Well, that's what I was saying about the hairline.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know. Disney genetically made a Mary Sue that we can't say anything about because she's genetically made that way.
But again, it's just it's like they're just writing in. They're writing in all this like exposition, and now there's like an exposition character where we don't even like get to follow the arc of these people that we care about. Like, I mean, the Bad Batch is so newly introduced too. We haven't even really got a sense of who they are in the greater depth, and we're already sort of being like, yeah, but let's pay attention to this one, and the rest of them are. It's gonna be like, what was that movie from like forever ago? 3 Men and a Baby or whatever.
Yeah.
Is that what we're gonna be doing? 3 Men and a Baby, where the baby's just like minor level Darth Vader.
But she's like
or like Ultimate Warrior.
She's one of these weird Disney characters though, where she's like the child and the mother at the same time.
Yeah.
Like, somehow she's like some weird she's also has this weird parental.
Yeah, I think a lot of that, like if we're gonna give credit, I don't know if it's deserved, it might be unintentional or incidental, but. A lot of kids that spend time exclusively with adults sort of are like that. I didn't spend a lot of time with kids when I was a kid, and I ended up being one of those like, those kids that just talks way too like old. It's kind of annoying. I largely lost a lot of that articulation as I got older, but that's kind of how I read that. If I'm going to give them credit for writing something intentionally, is that yeah, she hasn't had experience with kids. She doesn't know what a ball is. She's never been on a planet, so she's never seen like a star's radiation through atmospheric filter hitting the Earth.
Yeah, it was nice to
seen
see
dirt.
her not know something. That was sick.
Yeah, like, but I mean, like, it makes sense for the
For
character.
her to not start a sentence with "I know,
But if she's always hanging
I'm
out,
Omega, I know."
I'll give you that. I'll give you that. But that's what I mean. She spent all of her time just being, you know, sort of shadowing the Kaminoans and like, I don't know, being some sort of proxy or maybe helping them with stuff. Or I have no idea what her job description or life was like before that. Just living on that, you know, water tower
Yeah,
space station thing. But
I'm just wondering where this whole hidden.
can you please just make it about the characters? Make it about the characters.
Well, it's just like where is
just-
this like where are you funneling all of these new storylines, and where is this new like underground plot that we didn't see in the originals?
Yeah, like
where
unless
is
they
this
all get fucked up or just dispersed, like none of them are referenced in any of the other.
And they were the
canon.
ones, like they were the ones who made the sequel trilogy, and now they're the ones creating all these characters that weren't in it.
Yeah,
It just doesn't like. See, it's like it's so hard to care about at this point because they don't care.
it doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't seem like they're terribly concerned with even really congealing the canon together to be like, okay, we have this like bitter stuff here, but it
Dude,
is
they
in the
just-
pie.
And they just
Can we just mix it with more pleasant ingredients and like less just like
well, because they like what when they released the Kanan
Ad-lib.
comic like 2 years ago, 3 years ago, the Kanan comic about, and then they just basically undid all that. That's
Just
where I
like-
was confused because I had read the comic, so I was watching it and I was like, I don't know if I've seen like what the.
yeah. I thought he was supposed to be like a young teenager, like 14, 15, not
Yeah.
like 7. I mean, the voice still sounds like he's, you know, well
Prinze.
on to goatee territory, but yeah, I mean, I was really glad to see Kanan's character. I'm interested to see what happens with that if they readdress it or if he just disappears. But it is, yeah, it's the voice acting. Freddie Prinze does a good job. He does a good job of Kanan, but like, yeah, it's not very believable when you're drawing the character out to be like 10 or under.
And he's a dick to fans, so there's that.
You think so?
Oh no, you can see it. There's videos of him on the internet just telling fans to fuck off and shit.
Oh, fans. Sorry. I thought you were talking about him being like the character being rude to somebody, and I was like, I didn't remember any of that. I just remember
him.
running away and trying not to die. Yeah, that's unfortunate. I hadn't heard. That's really unfortunate.
Yeah, it's like you're, I don't know, an ambassador of this franchise.
Yeah, I was gonna say Kanan's one of my favorite characters.
Yeah, he
Like,
was sick. Like,
Definitely like post like Jedi era. He's probably, if not my favorite, one of the top 3 favorite
but
characters.
it's like the dopeness of that character went to his head.
maybe
Power corrupts.
just a voice actor, man. If you're not writing the stories, I mean, you did a good job. I love Rebels, but you know, I don't have anything to say about that. I haven't seen the videos, but if any part of that's true, that sounds nuts.
Yeah, we're
She's
like we're only 2 episodes in, so who knows what's.
I hope it gets better, man. I really hope it gets better. I want it to be better. I love Clone Wars. I love
Well, so far
Rebels.
we're literally just. It's lining up to be the exact same as like. How is it going to differ from the Mandalorian?
Maybe she'll die, or she'll get taken away,
I was about to say something. That probably
or
made
she'll
me
like
sound
learn
pretty
something.
mean.
Yeah, careful, man, careful. I'm not saying like for that reason. I'm just saying like honestly,
I mean, cool.
I didn't really sign up to see the Bad Batch. And
We're definitely
Friends.
going to see her almost die probably 16 times. I swear to God. We're going
You
to
think
see
so?
her almost die probably every episode. We'll see her almost die.
See, I predict that she's gonna save them almost every episode,
It's going to be both.
possibly several times each episode.
She's
'Cause
gonna
they're
save
not-
herself
They're not gonna
and
be.
them.
They're not gonna be capable enough to do it on their own.
Yeah.
Despite us having seen countless times where they're almost able to defeat
Whenever they
anything.
whenever they tell her to stay behind, she won't.
She's gonna
and
be the
she'll
one to
save
save
them.
them. Yeah. And I'm not sure that the one sniper was the reason why they had no problems before.
Yeah.
I feel like it's been pretty well established in canon that the like 4 or 5 of them can take on an army of like 1,000 to 5,000 whatevers, including apparently prototype Dark Troopers, you know. So,
But we'll see how consistent they keep their.
dude, just like establish power levels on all your characters. Tell yourself you're going to write a solid storyline, and it's going to be about the storyline, and then you develop the characters through that storyline. Preferably just stop adding random fucking characters also. Just like write stories. Write stories. You have characters. You want to do something interesting? Maybe give one of them, I don't know, some plot development, some character development. Maybe one of them disappears and then reappears. But like, just for the love of God, no more of these like penultimate, like just showing up out of nowhere characters that make the whole rest of everybody totally superfluous.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like, you know, a lot of the criticisms that you had in The Mandalorian, I didn't necessarily agree with, but I can very much see in this series how, like, that pattern could very easily be reestablished, much worse, and just totally subvert, like, the entire character development and our experience of those characters that we showed up here to see.
Yeah.
Because some of the shit's cool, man. It's awesome that they're going back and, like, establishing these, like, how the infinite differences in experience can produce different people from the exact same material. Like, I find that super fascinating.
Yeah.
And this possibility that the Kaminoans were developing those mutations of the
did
clones
you-
intentionally.
Did you hear
It's
that
very
they
cool,
used
too.
Luke's hand to create Snoke?
I did not.
Yeah.
Where did you hear that?
It's in a comic book.
Which one? That's
it up.
fucking... It doesn't even look... I'm going to have to read that.
Yeah, that was
But that's based on a thing, at least. I don't know whether it sucks or whether it's good, but I'm
that's
like
that's just them.
do that then. Yeah, that's awesome. Of course, find the hand.
No, but
They're
that's
trying to clone
that's
Force sensitives.
no, but it's them
Perfect
just
choice.
taking fan theories and just putting them into canon like they did with Rogue. Like it's just like the laziest.
You know, though, honestly, a lot of that could be better than them trying really hard, though. I like the Luke hand is Snoke theory better than I like half of what has come out of Disney Lucas on their own.
It's all just I don't know.
Like
All I
that
can say at this
wayfinding
point is
knife
like,
thing, that was so stupid.
I guess nerds inherited the earth.
Did they? Did
Who
they?
inherited comics? Because whoever did.
Yeah, I feel like nerds inherited the consumer base. I don't know if they got much to do with the creation aspect of it.
No, because
Unfortunately.
that's where great stories come from. Is people who love stories.
Yeah, and people who care about the world and can extrapolate or like take aspects of it and build on it, not just like, oh yeah, I kind of watched those.
Well,
But I got the job though, right? I mean, I wrote all this other stuff.
just reinventing shit and then like I don't know, they fucked up the X-Men. It's all fucking
You ever said about the X-Men? What's wrong with the X-Men now?
I can't even talk about it.
Another episode.
Let's wrap it up.
Yeah. Yeah, overall, like, I really hope, please. And if it bleeds into Kenobi, I'm gonna, like, if you wanna do some interesting stories, there's lots of material, Kenobi. There's lots of Ahsoka stuff that we'd like to see. There's tons of beautiful things you could be writing. Just stop adding these, like, ad hoc characters that are more important and more special than the characters we came to see. You know, it's not like Mandalorian and random new Jedi.
Or just make completely new shit that's not
Yeah, or do that. Yeah, do that. One or the other.
not
That's a good point.
shitty.
Do either one of those
Like
things.
High Republic.
Yeah. Yeah, if you want to do a new timeline with new people, totally new thing, do that. But don't tell me it's going to be like the Ahsoka show and then I end up with this like these triplets of Sith sisters that are
Well, it's like
gardening. Like I don't want but the story has to be there. If you're going to make those characters, that's I got no problem with that. Make them good characters. Give them a good story. Put them in a place that makes sense. You know, cuz they deserve that.
But then just to like
Any character deserves that, but if you're gonna do that specifically for a population of people,
to have the story not
do it
pick up,
justice.
and then
Otherwise, you're just like,
they got chewed up. Pretty sure.
yeah, it's just insulting. I can't imagine that I would be pleased if I'd waited for however long to see someone that like reflects me, and then that's what I got. It's just this like hollow trope with no character development, no like purpose in the story, and no real effort put together by the art direction or the storytellers to make it into something important.
Because we need to get past this whole like, yeah, characters should look cool and stuff like that, but it's like there's more. There's more than that, right? Like we want like depth, morality.
You want to like love or hate the character. You want to be invested and like care about them. And the only way you can do that is good storytelling.
Yeah, it's like
the only way you can do that is like character development and compelling, thoughtful, a puzzle that fits together. You can't just like slap a rainbow sticker on it or like that Shang-Chi shit, and like that's what happens. Is the like a lot of people are pissed off because they're like, that's like, why are there gongs? What is he wearing? What like why? You better not have the song Kung Fu Fighting in this film. Like, it's no, but really, and that's the problem.
Because then you get both, or you better have it. One or the other. You get both, either commit or fucking.
You get both sides of the polarity, both pissed and rightfully so, because one's just trying to watch their stuff, which whatever, I get that. You want what you want, and you want it to be the way it's always been. Other people are looking forward to the story being about them and like, having that same connection, and neither is served by this like milquetoast garbage, watery writing.
Well, if they want something that's going to appeal to the Chinese market, create with people who are directly involved with the Chinese market.
Yeah, you didn't see tons of people. Maybe I'm wrong. You guys, they're gonna
end up having to make a movie with the government of China.
I mean, probably that's like pretty close to the only.
They're probably trying.
You have the nationalists happy, but it's obvious. But
anyways, so it's hard to know who has the right to tell what stories in this strange entertainment culture world we find ourselves in, but it's affecting the stories we're getting, and it's affecting them negatively, I'd say, I guess.
Yeah, I think ultimately we're going to find out, right? Mm-hmm. We're going to find out because people respond the way they respond. And ultimately, like I said, it seems to me like the less attention that's paid to the quality of the story and the development of the characters, rightfully, all walks of life, amazing. Just do the dignity of like telling that story well,
and put the money where it needs to be to tell the stories that the people want. Like if this whole thing is to avoid compensating creators and writers of the past who maybe contributed stories and characters that are from Marvel pre-Disney, those are the stories people want, sadly. And
yeah, if it costs a little bit more to support the artist, then, like how much is that actually compared to how bad of a fail your entire media corporation is becoming on so many levels? Pay the artists, pay the story writers, pay for the good stories, the stories that matter, the stories that even make all those like logos and symbols and catchphrases and all that. Like I get you're churning out plastic stuff, like, making a shit ton of money on it. But you really want Disney to just be like Maytag? You want it to just be like a thing that used to be something?
Disney's dead, I'm sorry.
Like
I can't even. That's it, dying. So
go ahead, do Disney? That. See how well it works. There's all kinds of people on all different angles with a lot of opinions. But how many people are saying, aside from like your yes people, are really saying, wow, that was like really substantive content or an incendiary storyline, or like I really cared about that character. That moment wasn't just like about a prepared speech wrapped around nothing. Like the resonance and the importance of that message is amplified by the character that you're supposed to be drawn into and care about. And I'm not blaming any of the actors or any specific writers, but whatever influences, like, everybody who wants a story about them or wants to escape into a story of someone else's life to learn something or just to go on a journey, all of those people deserve the dignity of a good quality story about real people. Well, even the dog's pissed. I guess it's about time we feed that guy.
It's not my dog. Don't.
Well, what else am I gonna say?
That's not
man?
my fault. The
Yeah.
dog up there is not my fault.
And anyhow, do you have any? I think I'm good for the wrap. That's just like good stories about anybody, but like focus on the story and the character. That's what matters. Just like not doing that does no justice to anyone.
We're moving into the age of tokenism, and we're seeing it. Like you see it, you feel it in work sometimes, you know, and now we're seeing it in our media, where it's. We haven't really got the idea. We don't understand what co-creation or co-production is yet. It's this tokenism, and it's something we're gonna have to go through to, I hope, reach this stage of actually being able to co-create real, inclusive, and diverse stories.
Yeah, that are actual.
Like we gotta break the pendulum. We gotta break the pendulum,
exactly.
baby.
It's so undignified. Like, I mean, it's not my place to say how other people receive things, but if I wasn't seeing my face reflected, and then like that was the reflection that I was getting. You know, I'm being told a bunch of things that I already value and that I'm wanting other people to know. But am I really seeing myself reflected? Am I really getting a story about myself? It's for you to say, but it doesn't seem that way to me. It like everyone deserves better than this. Everyone.
A story about yourself? What do you mean?
No, I was talking about like these stories that are about like other people that don't look like me, and folks that don't get to see themselves reflected the way I am constantly seeing myself reflected, sometimes garishly. That's a whole different topic, but I want like a good story about a person that I can relate to, that like has a character arc, and like the purpose of me being there is about something that's real and important. It's not just like a venue to check a box. And these stories, like, it's not like every story is going to be great. There's tons of garbage in all directions, but like this one company specifically just do a good story. Like Black Panther was excellent. I thought it was really about something, as you know, criticisms. There's so many other like, yeah, they just seem so shallow and flat.
It's been a decline.
Yeah. So that's all. I mean, you know, not that, you know, my voice needs to be amplified any more than it is in this moment.
Yeah, like, just make better stories.
Yeah.
It's, I don't know, it's all haves and have-nots. And the haves are the ones who tell the stories, and the have-nots are the ones receiving them.
Yeah, and the have-nots are where the stories come from.
Yep. That's the thing. It's like anything. It's like any trend. It's taken from the streets. It's taken from low class.
The rich people have always come to the artsy and like edgy neighborhoods for their fun, and it's just like, if they're the ones trying to tell the stories, this is what, like, it's just not all there. It's just this patchwork of like what they, yeah.
It's gross.
The messages, the messages are important, but without the story, what is it?
I don't know what that is, but I know what this is. Lore Horse. Thanks for stopping by for another episode.
Do you think we could get like a laser? We'll try. Or like a lightning thing. That would be good.
We'll try.
See what's available.
And we'll see you next time. I've been one of your hosts, Nicholas Ridiculous, aka Nick Ridic, aka the Purple Hyena, and thanks for stopping by.
Yeah. Eric signing off.
If I can wrap it up, we do another fucking 25 minutes.
With this dog yapping in the background.